Hello friends, neighbors, John your Whisky neighbor here. Welcome down to the Nook. It's Sunday. Continuing the last few weeks, I think it's the fourth in a row, I'm doing a bottle opening instead of samples. So this is absolutely first thoughts. In the short, I don't know if you saw it to get here, I just opened up this John Nirvana. You know, it's 40% single malt from India. Clearly says unpeated all over it, which is interesting that they really kind of shout that out. And then this Amrut single malts, or entrance one, is a 46% all malted barley. So these are single malts. They are Indian whiskey single malts. I've had different expressions from both. Do like these houses actually, and have not had these. These are like, you know, they're entrance level. So what are they like? So why don't you pour a little Indian whiskey if you have. We'll start with this lighter Nirvana and end with the Amrut and just get some thoughts going. 3, 4. Thanks for staying with me. As I said, you know, I opened these bottles in the short, just poured them out. They've been airing a little bit, and it's not filling the Nook. Maybe a little sweetness is in the air, but that's about all. The first one here is Paul John, and all the Paul Johns I've had have been 46% expressions, natural color, non-chill filter. This one is very clearly not that. 40%, I believe it must be chill filtered. I should try a little, you know, cooling down to see if I can make it cloudy, to see if that, because I have had Signal Hill Canadian whiskey as an example, I think is 40% and yet non-chill filtered. Anyways, I like the look of the bottle. It's very, very affordable, and it is a 40%. From what I've been able to find, and I couldn't find official sources, but online seems to suggest, you know, this is a bit of virgin oak and I think second fill ex-bourbon. I think that was this one. You know, what's kind of interesting before I get going is both of these Indian whiskeys on the side somewhere, they'll talk about, you know, their different awards. This is Paul John. You can see maybe some of that comes off on the camera, but what I'm kind of drawing to, and I'll try to show it with the Amrut as well, is it says, you know, Jim Murray Whiskey Bible, 94 points. Not that Jim Murray is someone that I always align with. In fact, I very often don't. But here, I'll do it right away. You can see on this Amrut, again, the only thing they're celebrating here is that they also got 94 points on the Whiskey Bible. So according to Jim Murray, these whiskeys, I'm sure, are wildly different, but are of very similar quality. Let's see what I get. That's enough talking. This is Nirvana, the 40% from Paul John. Oh, it's interesting because it's definitely sweet. I was alluding to that. The nose is sweet, floral, a bit perfumey. Yeah, and honeyed. But my pinching, my wondering, and I'm hoping the palate will clear it up, is it has a bit of a sourness, but a sourness that puts me off. I like lemons and soured fruits in Scotch. It's not Scotch, single malt. But this nose has a bit of an industrial sour that I'm hoping will just go away when my palate gets a taste. So, cheers to your health. The first thing was that odd sourness, but moving it around the mouth a bit more started to open it up. Just a nice, somewhat creamy malt. Now I've got a little bit of orange citrus and sweetness, some light tropical fruit sweetness, a bit of young malt nuttiness, and a bit of orange, which is actually quite nice. I like the bit of orange. I'm gonna come back to this. I'll clear my palate, do the Amrut, and come back because I still want to know if that odd sourness is just going to clear away. Okay, let's talk first thoughts. This is bottle opening. It's absolutely first thoughts. I feel bottles always need to be open. I think you have to have drams across a few weeks to get a sense, but this is bottle opening, and now this will be Amrut. And this is just, again, their entrance. These bottles, honestly, they've been on my shelf for a while. I think both of them are, no, that one's a 2019 release, and the Paul John is a 2021, and I probably bought them pretty close to those years. But when I remade the Nook, what happened was I went into the back of some shelves, and I'm like, I gotta get these things open. They've just been sitting around. Anyways, what's interesting about this Amrut, I would say, especially in comparison to Paul John, is we're at 46, and it very clearly says non-chill filtered natural color. I'm quite sure both of these use Indian malt, like Indian barley. Amrut tells the story of where they got it from. This one, I don't think it tells it on there, but they're definitely very proud of the local grown ingredients and made in India. On the nose, Amrut, just the single malt. Well, that's also interesting. It's got a little bit of lemon, but this one's lighter. This one's just some malt sugar and some lemon. Yeah, just in contrast. Yeah, this, like, did the cork spoil? There's something just a bit off about Nirvana. And I've read some reviews. I often do with a background. Not that I'm trying to chase their notes, and I've never heard anyone mention that. So I don't know. This one's just got a weird sourness. This is sweeter, lighter. Let's give it a try on the palate. Amrut. Cheers. You know, right now, this almost has less to talk about. It's clearer, it's fuller with that oils and the 46%. It hugs a little more. It's a little more graham cracker, a little more oak, even fresh oak. I think this one also has new oak in it. Certainly ex-bourbon. A little more light toffee, a little more caramel. I know I said less to talk about. And actually, like, it tastes good. I better try another sip. Cheers. It is good. You know, it absolutely is good. This is a nice, little bit young, sprightly, hotter single malt. I especially like the natural non-chill. You can feel that a bit in the oils and whatnot. So it fills the mouth more. It's sure more present. And 46 over 40, you'll feel that, or at least I'm feeling it right now. What I was trying to get at is this is nice and clean and light and a good entrance into a single malt. Maybe you're doing a few single malts in the night, just tasting a little bit with friends. Before you get into odd casking, this is a nice, full, but young single malt. As I said, I'm coming back to this, but I really think I need to, try new glassware, let it sit for a bit, because there is something off. Or maybe that's just how it is. It is soured fruits. It's very distinct. Like, whereas this could be mistaken for many young single malts, it's nice. Like, this is really good. This would not be mistaken. This would be something you'd pick out on a blind if that's the nose they're going for. Because of that soured fruits. Try it again on the palate. Yeah, I've got to let it sit. I'm worried that something went off. Is it a natural cork? Yeah, I can't tell. The cork doesn't show signs of being, because sometimes natural corks I've had go bad, and that can affect things. Anyways, it's not bad. It's just, it's such an off soured fruit note. The rest of it holds up quite well. It's certainly softer than this Amrut. Like right now, even though I know I said the Amrut's kind of generic, this is where I would go to all the time. It's just a really nice, good, somewhat fruity. I even got just a hint of chocolate or something else going on in here. Like, this had lots of good things. It just wasn't like remarkable in one direction. This is remarkable in one direction, but right now that direction isn't great. So could be me. Please, first thoughts, don't run off and criticize either one of this based on this. I need some more time with this. Maybe I'll reach out. Have you had experiences with Nirvana? What's it like to you? And Amrut, is this like an easy start of the night pour for you? Talk to me about these Indian whiskeys.